everyone, UK Goosebumps here, back with another video. Today we're going to be reviewing The Art of Goosebumps by Cheryl Rodriguez. This was controversial back when it was released because of a few copyright issues and a few other things that are a little bit controversial, but it's an amazing book. A lot of Goosebumps fans highly rate this book, so do I, and I do think that a lot of effort and work was put into this. And I think that it gets recognised a lot, and as it should. It's a great book. And I haven't reviewed or talked about this on the channel before, but I have done it on my Instagram, I think, and in one of my posts maybe on my community page. But that's about it. But let's just get straight into it. So this book is technically split up into 5 sections. So you've got things like the OG sections, where it has like a cover of the OG and it explains a little bit about it. I'm going to split to another screen right now. You should be seeing Welcome to Camp Nightmares. This is the type of thing you're going to be seeing in the book. So it'll have a picture of the cover. It'll have a little description of what the book is about, like the blurb, the release date and the book number and the title and just basic things like that. And then it'll also show some really cool Tim Jacobus alternate sketches that weren't actually released as the final cover art. And this is one of my favourite things about this book as well. It shows the sketches, and I really like having an insight into how short of a time Tim actually had to work with these illustrations and how many different sketches were made for these, and comparing them to the final ones, it's just crazy to think how they became so iconic, just these drawings, you know what I mean? And there's also, you'll also see things like a little speech bubble that says Stein says, and it'll be like a quote from Stein or like a thing from Stein where he's been interviewed and he'll talk about the books. So it's nice to have an insight from the actual author from these books about how he thinks the book was shown and presented through the illustration. So it's nice to see that Stein had an input in this as well. Yeah, so as you can see throughout, I'll switch back to me now. Hello. And yeah, so that's the basic overview you're gonna see throughout. Like in here you've got the ghost next door. It's the same kind of layout. And it doesn't get boring. That's the good thing about this book. It doesn't get boring. Even though you've probably seen the illustrations before, if you're a big fan. You know about the illustrations. You may know even a lot of facts. You're gonna learn something in this book. Like, I learned a few things in this book. So I think that's really good, and it doesn't get boring because you see the sketches, and it's just nice to look at the cover art in a different way, rather than just thinking, oh, it's just cover art, it took this, and there's stories behind them. And I think that it really adds personality to the books, and shows that someone actually made them, and you actually think about it a bit more, which I think is really cool. So we'll move on to the second, technically, section of the book, which is going to be, switch to the screen now, which is going to be the Series 2000 section. So right now, as you can see, we're on I Am Your Evil Twin. Again, same sort of layout, but what I've noticed with the Series 2000 ones, there's a lot more sketches a lot of the time that Tim was working with. And I'm not sure why he did so many different sketches, but again, it's really interesting to see those. And my favourite one is probably the I Am Your Evil Twin, because of how many different variations of this I Am Your Evil Twin cover he made, and to finally come up with the one that's pretty famous today, I would say. When you see it, you're like, oh, that's really cool. I think it's really cool how he did the glass kind of shatter effect onto the darker side of this kid. And another really funny thing I like is the colour mock-up. It just looks like it's obviously a colour mock-up, so it doesn't look finished or anything. It just looks kind of goofy because his head isn't proportional and stuff. So yeah, but it's nice seeing them. But we'll go to Revenge R Us, let's say, and then just look how many sketches he's made. It shows the work that was put into these, and I really like how they put the effort into showing all these sketches. And there's a few Tim Jacobus quotes now and again about what he thinks about them, and there's a few facts about him. So that is the Series 2000 side of it. Now switch back to me. Hello again. Okay, so the third section now, is going to be the Goosebumps Gold section. So, switch back to the other screen. Here we are on Goosebumps Gold. So, Goosebumps Gold, if you didn't know, was a cancelled series, I think from the, it would either be late 90s or early 2000s. I think it's early 2000s, and people think it's either because of copyright issues it got, it was stopped, or because of other reasons in that time period. A big event in the 2000s that happened, you can probably guess. People might think it was that. There's a few things. No one's really sure, though. But yeah, Goosebumps Gold. This, I think, is where the controversy was with copyright things. I don't think these illustrations and stuff and like the descriptions were actually meant to get out and be used in a thing that people can access. As you can see, the Haunted Mask lives. It's an amazing cover, so I'm glad people did get to see these. And these books, if they ever were released, I feel like would be so good. It would be so interesting to see what these would be about. And that brings me on to another point. What I learned about in this book was a lot of Stein's stories that weren't released were actually repurposed into newer or different stories completely from Goosebumps. So as in The Haunted Mask Lives, a lot of people believe that The Haunted Mask Lives was repurposed in the Horrorland Haunted Mask book, which I've actually forgotten the name of, sorry about that. And another one, The Incredible Shrinking Fifth Grader, meant to be the 26th book of the Series 2000 series. That was actually repurposed. A lot of people think. I think I think Stein even actually said that he repurposed it into The Adventures of Shrinkman, which are part of 6 novels, short novels that Stein released. Now, the last section of the book is kind of about live on stage, as in the Goosebumps play, and also another kind of repurposed thing. So, Stein wrote the lights with Rupert Holmes, I believe his name was, he wrote Live on Stage with him. And obviously a book came out, Live on Stage, Screams in the Night. And Screams in the Night, a lot of the monster from the front cover is actually on one of Stein's short novels from the same series as Incredible Shrinkman. So again, it's just another thing of him repurposing things, which I think is really cool, and it's quite interesting. I wonder how many other things that were never released that we don't know about were repurposed, like things like When the Snake Bites, or the, I think there's I'm not sure what the name was, I don't think it has a name, but the cover art with the penguins from the Give Yourself Goosebumps unreleased book. So switch back to me now. So yeah, my overall thoughts on this book, and sorry for chatting so much, but I really do like this book. My overall thoughts for this is super informative, super well made. It really does the covers justice. It shows how much hard work went into them. It doesn't slander them. It doesn't like take the mick out of them. You know, obviously it's a professional book. They wouldn't want to do that. All I'm trying to say is I think it was really informative, and I think it's just a really cool, it is technically fan-made, I believe, as well. Like someone actually decided to do this because they liked the covers so much. So I think a lot of work went into this. So I highly recommend Art of Goosebumps for even the best, like the biggest fans or the smallest fans, or if you just found out about Goosebumps, or if you just like art in general, I think you'd really like this. So, Art of Goosebumps by Sarah Rodriguez gets a 5 out of 5 stars on me. Okay, thank you very much for watching, guys, and have a good rest of your day.